Hi, thanks for tuning in today. Today, I want to share one quick thought with you. And it's really a fallacy, and I've kind of labeled this the big dictionary fallacy. I know it's a fallacy because I've fallen into it myself, and it was especially before I started studying Greek in such a way that I could learn to read the language. I would find a passage of scripture that maybe didn't settle well with what I believed or some doctrines that I held to. And what I would do is I'd go to a lexicon or something like that and find some unusual usage of the word and then try to plug that meaning in to try to fix whatever problem I was running into with my doctrine. And I realized that as I began to study the Greek language, that the beauty and richness of the Greek language is not just in its individual words, but in the syntax, how the language comes together, how it functions as a whole, the structure of the author's argument, and the whole flow of the text. And so trying to take one individual word and kind of wring it out and get all the meaning out of it and try to make it mean multiple things in one context, I realized that these kinds of word studies were sometimes counterproductive to the learning that I was trying to do. So you can buy Kittle's Theological Dictionary, and that's like a 10-volume set, and try to look for esoteric meanings of the word. And there's nothing wrong with those dictionaries. In fact, I have many Greek lexicons and dictionaries, and they're good. They're good tools. A chainsaw is a good tool if you use it properly. You don't want to use a chainsaw where a scalpel is needed. So using tools wisely and trying not to be so biased that you're just looking for an unusual usage of the word to make it fit whatever doctrine you're trying to propose. Being honest with the tools that we've been given, and also realizing that when you encounter an English word that you don't know, does a Webster's dictionary usually suffice? Or do you need to get the massive, you know what I'm talking about, the Oxford English Dictionary, the massive, I don't know how many volumes that traces the meaning of the word all the way back, I don't know how many centuries. Do you really need that for trying to understand what an English word means? Well, obviously specialists will use the Oxford English Dictionary, and if you're doing deep research, sometimes it could be helpful. But if you try to go all the way back to the 17th century or 16th century or whenever and pick out how the word was being used then and then try to figure out how you could make that meaning fit, you know, the novel or whatever you're reading now, you might be misusing that dictionary. So likewise, we have to be careful with the tools that we have and recognize that all the meaning and richness of the Greek text when we read it is not to be found just in those individual words. There are some words that are heavy and loaded with meaning. I'm not denying that. But just to be able to use our tools wisely, respectfully, and in the way in which they are intended. In this way, they'll be a help to us and not a hindrance.